everybody. I'm Marcus Jenkins, the founder and executive director of R.O.O.T.S Mentoring. And again, if you don't know about R.O.O.T.S, R.O.O.T stands for Regiment of Overriding the Statistics. So we're an organization based out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, going on our 9th year serving the community. So we really focus on inspiring and developing at-promise youth and helping them redefine their trajectory by exposing them to positive role models and resources. So again, we love the work. We're sincere, genuine in every single thing we do. And we're excited to continue to make the impact and collaborate with AfterSchool AHQ to be able to track that data long term and make continuous impact in our community. So how I got started was, again, my sophomore year back in 2016 while I was a college student at Fayetteville State University. I had the opportunity to intern under my mentor and current board president still, Mr. Jeff May. At that point in time, he was a youth development coordinator for Cumberland County Schools. So through the partnership and internship, I gained access to Cumberland County Schools. I found I was beyond passionate of pouring into and developing into young youth who were at a similar space that I was a few years ago. So the first school we started working with was called Alger B. Wilkins, which is an alternative school. So a lot of these individuals have to apply to get into school, and oftentimes attendance, behavior, something of that nature is the reason that they're at this said school, and they're behind academically. It's a self-paced course that allows them to be able to graduate in whatever rapid rate in which they desire. So with that being said, I was able to just sit down and have a few conversations, and one stuck with me. There was a young man had tattoos all over his face. He looked like a rapper, man. I was just like jewelry and everything. And I was like, bro, like, why are you always so isolated? And in speaking with him, I found out that he watched his brother get killed point blank range. Somebody tried to rob him at a gas station and shot him right then and there. So just the trauma in which he carried caused him to be very distant from a lot of individuals. And I could really align with him there. So in the midst of having conversations and formulating relationships, I came back to my mentor, again, the youth development coordinator, and said, hey, like, I have a plan. I think I can sincerely make some impact here. And he said, whatever you need, let me know. So from there, he threw me the alley-oop. We dunked it. And from there, we were able to essentially align college students that were doing exactly what these youth wanted to do and saw themselves years down the line. So we could be able to bridge that gap and give them somebody who looks just like them, who's doing exactly what they want, and can give them the plan to be able to execute and succeed. So our program is unique in a couple of different components. One, we specifically focus on at-promise youth, right? Oftentimes those youth that a lot of people give up on, that's exactly who we want. We want the knuckleheads. We want the ones everybody labels as bad. And oftentimes people really give up on. And we like to be able to be that example to show them that we were once where you were, but you would never know because we know how to code switch, right? so, so our main pillars always are accountability, code switching, and effective communication skills because we realize oftentimes in our community, those aren't things that are really taught. You kind of have to learn on the fly, right? So with that being said, we're unique in the fact that, yes, we work in the school system during the day. We have college students from Fayetteville State, 75 actually, that work within elementary, middle, and high schools. Then we have on our executive team, which was created in the midst of COVID because we weren't able to go into the schools. So we had to be able to pivot and now begin to work with rec centers so we could still get that live in-person interaction because virtual realm is just drastically different, as we all know. So with that being said, we were able to create a holistic approach where, yes, we're engaging the students in the school system, but we're also working with the parents, their siblings, outside of that within these rec centers. So now whenever we're engaging the youth in the schools, they're going home, but they're coming back to the rec centers for what we call our real talk sessions to develop them. And now we're sending the whole family home in a car ride of discussion of the said topic in which we discussed. Now everybody is able to collaborate and we're able to have a holistic approach in that regard. We've been able to solidify a lot of relationships by one, word of mouth. As I mentioned, we've been doing this for going on 9 years now. So our track record really speaks for ourselves. So being able to formulate relationships with specific parents that then connect us with staff at school or staff at these different rec centers, they've been able to kind of welcome us with open arms. Oftentimes we get invited to do some form of a forum for a lot of these different rec centers. And then following that, the feedback is, hey, we want to continue to collaborate with you in more depth. So we led by just giving everything free, right? Everything we do within our organization is free because of the demographic we service, right? Low income, I promise youth. Again, it's not about the funds, it's about the impact for us. And oftentimes people really align with us because of our genuine energy. And that has opened up so many doors, just being raw, authentic, and within ourselves as well. And then again, we have a bunch of college students on our team as well. So a lot of them are local. So a lot of their parents are principals at some of these schools. A lot of them have siblings that go to other schools. So oftentimes our inbox is actually flooded with people reaching out to us requesting our services. So it's a blessing to be able to be a blessing and have people who can really attest to the work in which your organization does, because it's opened up so many doors for us. So our process for selecting board members was very unique, and I actually advocate for this for a lot of other organizations. If you haven't created your board, or if you're in the midst of trying to sort that out, I was very intentional with identifying other individuals who are across numerous different spectrums. Right. So we have individuals who work on the collegiate level, obviously because we service a lot of college students. Right. They have that background, that knowledge, as well as those accolades to be able to support our college students. We also have a few individuals who specialize in mental health. Right. A few of our pillars that we really focused on is mental health. We're pivoting to STEM, then also being in tune with outdoors and health and being healthy, right? So a lot of the individuals we work with are PhD, professors that specialize in mental health, right? So we were able to bring them on. Also have a lot of mentors who have been very pivotal in my life to even help me create this organization. As I mentioned, the youth development coordinator, Jeff May, who is still currently our board president. So the relationships we've been able to build with these individuals who were supporting us before we were a 501c3 are the same individuals that we really called on originally to formulate our board. Now, in the midst of transitioning our board, we ask our board members to identify somebody else who is in a similar arena to them or at that same set university or something of that nature in which we collaborate with to continue to sustain that relationship as well. And we want to make sure that every single member of our board is one, able to help from a financial perspective, but two, very passionate in alignment with our mission. And then three, has additional resources, connects, and a network that aligns with exactly the work in which we do. Luckily, I was able to cross paths with AfterSchool HQ, and it's been a game changer. It has helped streamline my whole process. I love my virtual assistant. Shout out to Maggie. Hopefully, y'all can meet her one day. But now I'm able to just send over different spreadsheets, any type of forms in which we are currently using. She can upload in the system. And from there, it allows me to create and generate customized reports in real time to speak directly to our impact. So now when I'm gauging our stakeholders or we're meeting on from a board perspective, or even submitting information on behalf of grants, the process is seamless, right? So it makes it so much more easy. And I'm beyond blessed to have the opportunity to work with a program like AfterSchool HQ that is one, extremely passionate in alignment with the work in which we do in the community and has a plethora of different resources to help you succeed. All right. So originally, when we started the program, we were just in one school, right? One alternative school. We serviced roughly about 115 students at that point in time. But since then, we're in 11 schools and 4 rec centers. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of information to track. And Google Forms was not the route to go, right? So again, perfect timing and alignment with After School HQ. So now we have the ability to track various different components. But my favorite is probably going to be the zip code, right? We have a heat map that tracks all the youth that we service and the specific zip codes in which they come from. It's been a game changer for us because now whenever we meet with city council or provide our reports, we're able to speak directly to the different zip codes, right? Hey, 28311 is low income, high poverty, high crime, and we're helping to offset this by exposing our youth to XYZ. So now it helps us, one, with our storytelling, but also to advocate for additional funding from the city council because we can speak directly to where we're making impact and where our youth is coming from. Another component that I'm extremely fond of within After School HQ is the surveys, right? At the end of the year, we always gauge the staff we work with within the schools as well as the staff within the rec centers. So now in real time, I'm able to gauge them, get all that information, create some form of report. So at the end of the year, whenever we're getting funds, we can actually provide some insight directly to the provider of those funds to be able to speak to the impact in which we've had from a school perspective, or as I mentioned, the rec centers. And they can speak directly to the impact of our organization to advocate for the work we do and why our program needs to continue to exist and thrive within the city. The data we collect within the After School HQ is always going to be based on the said grant in which we are either applying for or have received at the moment. So right now, in working with the city of Fayetteville, traditionally some things that we're tracking are: is anybody disabled, right? Is anybody a veteran? What is that household income, right? Is anybody on free or reduced lunch? Those different variables. And again, I love the fact that you can really customize the questions that you have on forms on a consistent basis. Based on whatever grant we're applying for, I'm going to customize different forms for that said grant as well too. So it definitely gives us a lot of flexibility, and that's probably one of my favorite components about After School HQ altogether. I'm just beyond appreciative to have a partner like After School HQ to be able to have my back and help us scale, man. Because really, without I mean, like, as I mentioned, Roots is regimen of overriding statistics, but After School HQ allows us to scale that much more and continue to override statistics on a day-to-day basis by the support in which you all really help us with. And I'm a huge advocate. I'm a fan. Anybody who is doing work in the community, genuine, passionate, consistent work, having a tool like this is just going to make your life a whole lot easier. We know that burnout is extremely real, right? We shed tears behind this. We bleed behind this. But at the end of the day, having a partner who is as genuine in that After School HQ and really wants to see you thrive and succeed, again, you can't go wrong by any means, man. Our founders are a prime testimony of after school programs. So with that being said, if you are looking for a tool, come check out After School HQ. They have exactly what you need, sincerely. And I stand behind that.